If you need to store your camper van for an extended period of time, you need to take the proper steps to make sure it is ready to sit there, but ready to roll the next time you are ready to hit the road. So in this video, we're going to show you how to winterize your Rize and Scope camper vans. The first step is to make sure that the chassis is up to date on maintenance. We're talking fluids, filters, all the maintenance you need to be keeping up with anyway. And all that's laid out for you in your Ram ProMaster Owner's Manual. You also need to make sure that your generator is up on its maintenance as well. But what we want to do is run some fuel stabilizer through the fuel system on your generator, and it runs right off the tank on your Rize or your Scope. So throw some fuel stabilizer into the tank. This is a 24-gallon tank, and you're going to want to follow the directions on the bottle. Pour that into the tank and then go ahead and start up your generator.
Using either Rapid Camp Plus or the start button on the generator, fire it up and run it for about 10 minutes at approximately half rated power. So in the case of this 2800 watt generator, you want to be pulling about 1400 watts. What this is going to do is fill the fuel lines with that fresh from the pump gas and the stabilizer you just put in the tank. When the generator cools down, you'll need to change the engine oil. Start by removing the plastic cover over the drain plug. Using a 9/16 socket, remove the bolt and drain out the old oil. Replace the plug and using a torque wrench, tighten to 177 inch-pounds or 14.75 foot-pounds. Take out the yellow dipstick, refill the oil, and check for the proper level. Now replace the plastic cover. For this next step, you need access to the carburetor. So remove the air filter by pressing in the two plastic tabs and sliding the air filter out. Start the generator. While it is running, spray an engine fogger into the carburetor. This is going to leave a protective coat of oil on all the internal surfaces of the engine. Now stop the generator. Once the exhaust is cool, find something to plug the pipe to keep out critters, dirt, and moisture. Finally, turn off the main AC circuit breaker at the panel.
All right, we got the generator ready, the chassis is ready. Now we need to work on the plumbing system. Now the components are going to vary from floor plan to floor plan. You can find the specific layout of your Rize or Scope on the owner's resource page on thormotorcoach.com. First thing we need to do is drain our fresh tank. So go ahead, open the valve and let the water run out.
And while that's draining, go ahead and drain your gray tank.
Now we need to prep the Truma, and again, its location is going to vary depending on your floor plan. In the 18M, it is located right under the sofa, so we're going to go ahead and move these cushions.
Winterizing your Truma Combi can be done in a few easy steps. First, turn the furnace off using the control panel. It's going to take a few minutes before the furnace is completely shut down, and you need to give it a chance to cool off. This way you won't burn yourself when you drain the water. While that's cooling off, go outside and turn off the propane at the tank. You can also shut off the gas supply by flipping the switch located on the unit. This controls the 12 volts to the gas valve. You also want power to the water heater off before draining it. Now over on your Rapid Camp display, make sure the water pump is off. If you're connected to city water, disconnect it. Now walk through your camper van and turn on all the water faucets, hot and cold. Once the furnace cools down, you need to open the Combi water valve to let the water drain. It's this yellow lever. Flip it 90 degrees to the open position. The location of the water valve will vary by floor plan. Remember, you can always find the schematics for your specific coach on the Thor Motor Coach Owner's Resource page. So go grab a bucket or something else to collect the water in and place it under your low point drain. Turn the valve and drain the water out. What you need to do now is see how much water you've collected. You need to be sure you get a minimum of 2.64 gallons of water in the bucket to make sure the Truma is completely drained. Otherwise, you run the risk of frost damage in the unit. Once the proper amount of water is drained, your Truma is now winterized.
I wanted to go over all the plumbing and how it's laid out because this is going to be important, especially if you live in a climate where temps get below freezing. So your blue line is going to be your in. Your red line is going to be your out. The blue is the cold, the red is the hot water, and the red and the blue, this is your bypass valve. These are just quarter turn ball valves, and this is set up for normal operation where your blue and your red line are open, but your bypass is closed. To winterize, you're going to take and you're going to close the blue line, you're going to close the red line, and you're going to open your bypass valve. So now we're ready to run the RV antifreeze through your system. First, you're going to need to access your drain outlet, which is right here. You're also going to need a piece of hose with an adapter. So this is where you're going to connect your adapter, but before you do, make sure you shut off the inlet to your freshwater tank because you don't want RV antifreeze getting into your freshwater tank. That is located right here.
Now connect the adapter.
Now that you're connected, run your hose into the RV antifreeze. Next up, turn on your water pump. Now go around to all your drains and open them until you see the RV antifreeze starting to flow out. You want it to be nice and pink. Don't forget to winterize your exterior shower, same thing. Hold the handle down until the stream flows pink. So if you run out mid-winterization, go ahead, turn off your water pump, and then go ahead and replace your jugs of RV antifreeze. Then turn your water pump back on. You also want to hold down the flush button on your toilet until you see RV antifreeze make its way around the bowl. Now remember, this is going to fill up your cassette, so you're going to want to take and empty and rinse out your cassette as well. You also need to do your shower and your sink. And after the RV antifreeze has made its way through the entire system, just for good measure, go ahead and pour around a cup or so of RV antifreeze into each and every drain. Don't forget your shower. Now here's a little tip. After you have everything winterized, go ahead and put a plastic bag around your faucets. That way it'll keep any drips from getting on your countertop. Your chassis is ready, your generator's ready, your plumbing is all prepped. Now it's time to give your baby a bath. That includes the awning fabric as well. After you wash it down, make sure you give it a good waxing because you want to protect that paint from all the elements. And don't forget to do your tires too. You want them protected from the UV rays. You're probably going to want to cover these as well, especially if you're going to store it outside. And don't forget your roof. This is painted as well, so go ahead and give it some waxy love. And while you're up here, you're going to want to take and cover up your air conditioner. Now grab a can of silicone spray. You're going to want to hit the seals around the windows, the doors, and make sure you spray inside your locks. Moving inside, you're going to want to give everything a good cleaning. Wipe down all of your surfaces, defrost your refrigerator, close the blinds. A lot of people like to take and put aluminum foil or even cardboard between the blind and the window to keep it from fading. You're going to want to open your cabinets just a little bit to keep that circulation flowing too. And while we're talking ventilation, you're going to want to open that vent fan just a little bit. Not enough to let any moisture in like rain or snow, but just enough to let in a little air to circulate through your van.
Before we move to the electrical system, this is a good time to go ahead and park the van where you are going to store it. If you have the ability to plug in, then your batteries will stay charged. You can use an adapter to take that 30 amp cord down so you can plug it into a household outlet. Remember, your van does have a solar panel on top, and that solar panel will charge even with the battery disconnect turned off. So if you leave your power cord plugged in, make sure the battery disconnect and the main converter 110-volt breakers are left in the on position.
If you have to store your van outside, it's recommended once a month you climb on in and start it up and let it run for half an hour. This is going to charge your chassis battery, it's going to charge your house battery, and it's going to dissipate any moisture that's built up in the exhaust. And while you're in here, go ahead and run that AC. That's going to lubricate the system for you. And those are the steps you need to follow to winterize your camper van. It's not what I would call labor intensive, but it is going to take some time to do it right. Spending a few hours now could save you a lot of headaches down the road. We covered a lot of information, but it is all laid out for you on the owner's resource page on thormotorcoach.com.